Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cameron's Cooking, and today we're going to be making Shan Nihari, and that is one of the Pakistani's most authentic dishes. It's really robust in flavor and super awesome, and I'm going to show you guys how to make Southern Pakistani Nihari. So, with that being said, we got some onions, tomatoes, and some ginger garlic going. Southern style is a little bit different than regular nihari. If you're just making the regular nihari, you can just fry some oil just like this and just put the nihari masala in, put the meat in, pretty much boil it till it's nice and tender, mix flour, and that's it. But if you're making Southern authentic nihari, that's a lot different. This is the original version of it. For this, we're gonna need a couple different ingredients, which today is gonna be, I usually take English roast from any market. You can get it. English roast is the best because it has robust flavors. They also have really good meat. And with that, we also for authentic nihari, you need some bone in it. So shank meat is like the best. It also has some bone marrow. That the taste that it brings in the nihari, it is hands down amazing. Back in Pakistan, there was a place called Zahid's Nihari, very famous, and this is where I learned all this from. Because my father and my grandfather used to go and get nihari all the time from there. So, I perfected their recipe, and that's what that is. And then they used to use a little bit different recipe. This is like my mom's recipe that she's been cooking. So this is more our family recipe more than anything. So for this, we're gonna start out with an onion. Only a small onion, very small, fine chopped, and these tomatoes, just a little bit, so a quarter of a tomato, very fine chopped. So when you make nihari, they won't just like this. You see how fine chopped it is, and that in the middle is ginger garlic, 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic. All together, put that in the nice burning oil, let that simmer. Soon as it turns light brown, this is where we're gonna put the nihari masala in. We're gonna cook the masala to get a little bit of that spice out and a little bit of that spice mixed in the oil, so it can actually better flavor the meat and tenderize it more. Ginger garlic is more for, the reason they use ginger garlic a lot in meats is to get down the little bit of taste of the meat and have more of the curry taste. So that's where ginger garlic comes in. So after doing that, after the ginger garlic, tomatoes, and onions, we're gonna go ahead and put our nihari masala in. After that, after we put nihari masala in, we're gonna put these green peppers in. Green peppers, you can just wash them, throw in them whole. You ain't gotta cut them. If you cut the peppers, the nihari or any dish gonna come out way too spicy. So only throw them in whole, cook them for a little bit, and take them out. Don't leave them in there while it's boiling for a couple hours and while it's cooking for a couple hours. The reason why, because the pepper will boil too much and they open up, and it will make the nihari way too spicy. So that is just for taste. Right after that, you're gonna need about 4 to 8 cups of water, depending on what are you cooking in. If you're cooking in a pressure cooker, this will be done in 30 minutes in pressure cooker. You only need 5 cups of water for that. But I like to slow cook. So I take a nice non-stick big authentic Pakistani pan. In that, it cooks, it simmers, and it gets all the robust flavors out of the meat and the ginger garlic, the spices, the pepper, the cilantro, and so on. Cilantro is something that's going to be last. Salt, when you are using Shan Nihari masala. But the thing is, a lot of people say, hey, why not use the regular spices versus Shan? I have all the regular spices right here. I have over 25 spices right here that I can make my own Shan spices. But the only thing is, there is like a couple things missing in here, which is bay leaf and stuff like that. Now, I don't like to keep bay leaf in handy because I use it very little. So the only difference in the Shan Nihari and the regular masala is just all those are grinded up right in a packet for you, ready to go. So that's the only difference. So don't ever get it wrong to where people say, oh no, this is not authentic. Because no, it is authentic because the spices are the same. It's just in a pack versus that. Because some people don't, like I cook Nihari from scratch as well as the Shan Nihari. I like the Shan Nihari because it has a little bit of bay leaf, a little bit of authentic curry flavors from back home. So I like that masala batter. So after you put the 4 or 5 cups of water, let that simmer, let it slow cook for good solid about 2.5 3 hours till the meat is nice and tender. It depends on how you like the meat. I like it like tender. My kids, they love the meat when it's nice and tender, falling apart. And when it's coming to a point when the meat is done, you have the right water level in here, because you have to understand, as soon as the meat is done, you still have to have your soup in here. So make sure you have 4 cups of water for your base of the soup. That's when you go ahead and you take flour. Flour is what we're gonna make the gravy with. So what we do is we take a magic bullet or some kind of a grinder. You can grind the flour in there. After grinding the flour, you put cold water in. You take about let's say about 1 cup like this. 1 cup take of flour, mix it in a bigger glass of cold water. If you put hot water in it, it will like gobble up. It will gobble up and turn, it will stick together and won't dissolve right. So always take cold water to mix your flour. And as the Nihari is getting done, you take a spatula, a spoon, or something to mix in with. You pour in the flour very little at a time at a low heat, and you keep on mixing the Nihari. And as you mix it, it's a little bit of task getting it done like that. But what happens is, as you're mixing everything in and you slow putting in the flour, it turns into gravy very fine. If you put all of it in one time, the flour is going to cook very quickly. It possibly is going to leave a little bit of like almost like a flour, a little flour, flowerlets, or call it, or goblets, or so on and so forth. So nevertheless, very nice and slowly mix it in. After that, let the gravy cook for about 30 minutes, because the water that is going in with the flour has to cook. The flour has to cook also. So in order to make it the right robust gravy, you pour in the flour, you mix it very generously. After that, you let it cook on low simmer for about half hour. I recommend 45 minutes, but half hour is fine. Also, after the half hour, you go ahead and put cilantro in. This is where the cilantro comes in. I get fresh cilantros. I cut the cilantro up. I put it in bags, and I also put them up. So I always have fresh cilantros to go with it. You can garnish with fresh cilantro on the side. You can also have green chilies cut up with some ginger slices for garnish after that, with some nice naans or bread or even rice. So like and subscribe. I hope you guys like my videos, and have a wonderful day.